Right, so in this question, we are basically, it's a traditional change the subject of the formula. So we've got 1 over u minus 1 over v equals 1 minus s over r, and we've got to make r the subject of the formula. So r is going to be equal to one of those. So um, yes, this is generally not well answered when it's asked in a traditional way for some reason. Literal equations are very poorly answered as opposed to equations with numbers. So, because it's multiple choice, let's just also play a little bit on the multiple choice as well, because we are practicing multiple choice questioning for NBT and SATs. And if we were in a hurry, would we be able to maybe discard any of these answers or pick the right one? They all look semi-plausible. They've kind of got the right components to them. Um, but here's one thing that we want R to make R the subject. And one thing that we would probably be doing is adding the two fractions on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. And there'd be an LCD of UV. So the answer is very likely to have a UV term in it, or a UV factor. And therefore, I'm pretty sure it's not A and it's not C. So if I were in a hurry, I'd be saying, and I wanted to guess at the right answer, it's going to be a B or D. Then I could sort of just analyze this a little further. And I can say, well, if I were to add those together, and I'm going to get a UV as the LCD and a kind of a V minus U term or a U minus V, and that will be on a different level to the UV. So it's unlikely that the UV and the U minus V, as in D, are going to be one should be over the other. So I'm going to guess that probably that D is not the answer. Right. And so if I was in a hurry, I'd be saying, right, it's probably B without working it out fully. Okay. But now let's do this properly, and let's see what we're going to end up with. All right. So one thing that we might do, there's no absolute right or wrong in terms of solving this to find R, but um, a standard method would be that we want to look at the LCD of the whole thing, all right, which would be UVR. All right, so what's a good way of solving this to get rid of the fractions? We would multiply each term by the LCD, which is UVR. So we do something like this. Why do we multiply by the LCD? Because then each of these denominators divide into the LCD, and hence they cancel, making our life a little easier. All right, so just to rewrite that now, it would be VR minus UR equals 1 minus S times UV. Do we need to multiply that out? Well, probably not. We're looking to just isolate R. All the R terms are on the left-hand side. So if I factor out the R, I'm getting V minus U equals 1 minus S UV. And therefore, to isolate R, I'm going to divide by the bracket V minus U. All right, so it's going to be 1 minus S UV over V minus U. Okay, so the closest example to that is B. Just understand that I can multiply top and bottom by -1, and then I could get then S minus 1. I could do a switch around there, but I'd also switch around the denominator to make it U minus V, and then that is exactly the answer B, which I would have guessed.